Hello, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate you coming, being on time, whether you're a senior leader or a teacher or a head of department or even a parent or maybe even a student and you just kind of want to jump into TuitionKit and know a little bit more about it. Really appreciate you spending the time to get to know it. I'm not going to be very long, probably just 10, 15 minutes, just give you an introduction to what it is, why it exists, and some of the successes around it. My name is Leon Haley. I'm a former head teacher, and now I'm involved a lot more in worldwide teacher training. I've got a company that's been doing a lot of good, and previous before that, and started alongside that. What we started when I left headship, we developed this thing called TuitionKit, which is now very proud to say it's been used by a lot of people, which we'll come to, and it can really help with GCSEs and study. And I'm going to show you how shortly. So if you haven't been on a webinar with me before, I'm going to talk most of the time just to maximise the delivery. Forgive me for being rude in that way. Text comments are always welcome in the chat, and I'll pick them up with you after this main part of the video. I'll close the recording and I'll jump in and have a conversation with you guys on the chat, which I really look forward to. I'll sending on a one-to-one link as well if you need to ask me anything or want to talk about anything in particular. And then lastly, there will be a video of this as well. So anything that you miss or maybe wasn't explained fully well the first time, hopefully you'll be able to catch it in the second time. Or I've just been poor at explaining, to which I take full responsibility and I apologise in advance. So what do we do here? Our expertise, well, TK has been used by over 500,000 people, which we're really proud of. We do send out forms and responses after the exam to find out how people have done with it, and obviously everyone's everyone who responds is obviously very supportive and grateful for the fact that we do it. But in terms of the percentage of people who use it and the percentage of people who respond, it's not all altogether high. But I suppose, you know, even I think of myself, I'm like that. I might love something, but I rarely leave a review or a comment on something. So, you know, you've got to treated as a taste of my own medicine. That's the phrase I was looking for. Forgive me. We've been used across the world. I think it's like 100 countries that have used TuitionKit now, and we're in hundreds of schools as well. We used to be a lot more prevalent in schools before we moved into teacher training. Now our teacher training is our main focus that we sell to schools, and because TuitionKit now is free, and that's one of the main reasons that we were kind of pushing this together. It's kind of our response to COVID in a way that we knew we could sustain, because I know a lot of people did stuff free, and it was like free for 6 months and then pay and this and the other. So I didn't want to do anything with that with my company, with our stuff, until we were sure that yes, we can make this free for a very well, for indefinitely, as long as hopefully the company exists. So we've been quite successful there, and obviously I'm going to show you through the system and what it does. We have a range of webinars as well, so please do look at, mainly to do with teacher training and how you kind of work remotely with people. So there's a range of webinars that are worth watching if you're so inclined. But obviously the focus for today is TuitionKit, and so I'm going to be talking about who it's for, you know, who can use it, why it's tried and tested, how it helps you pass exams, and this kind of idea of share and delivery. Now, something I'm going to say that's not supremely popular. I'm big on people being responsible for themselves. I'm big on the idea of if I give you the fishing rod, then you should go and be able to fish. I don't sit by you then and fish, and when you pull the fish out, I comment on your fish, etc., etc. The big thing about TuitionKit, as opposed to maybe some of the other things that we could have done with it, is it really stops at delivery. The idea of online learning, I think, is very relevant. I don't think it's being done by any system properly. I think a lot of the stats bear that out. Nothing will replace a teacher. But what we do know is accessibility and delivery, we can do far better online. And I realise that's one of TuitionKit's strengths. It can kind of get and organise a lot of information for you into one go. But it's not really there. There is the opportunity. There is the teacher portal where the teacher can have more say on what a student does and what they follow, etc. But again, it's not all about marking what you did and coming through with what you did. It's really about giving onus and delivery of learning to the learner, and then they're in a situation where they can really kind of do that. And obviously, if that's unpopular, there are, you know, millions of other pieces of software that you can use instead of this. But especially with the, you know, when you come away from the right-wrong subjects, it becomes very difficult to mark in any way effectively remotely online with some kind of system. So I believe in the human interaction there, and the best part of the human interaction, I think, with the teacher is the teacher knows the student, so the teacher can shape the learning for the student and direct the student towards learning that they would like. And I'll give you an example of how we do that shortly. So coming in at the beginning, the main thing about I don't really class it as learning. I talk about it much more in terms of delivery. It's video delivery. You get the videos of the piece of information you want, and obviously when you're looking at it, you think it could be because a child missed something, you're catching them up with a video. It could be because they weren't getting something, so you share a video, or because there's a different dynamic and way that it's put with someone else online, and you can share that as well. And then what it does after it offers you the videos, it allows you to kind of organise and follow that time, to build a rhythm, study and understanding during those periods. It allows you to import a load of different items, and as I say here as well, it can also be a vehicle for your own vehicle delivery. So if you're a teacher who's looking to, or you have a YouTube channel, or you're looking to put a few videos up, you can use TuitionKit as well to kind of share and organise your own video delivery as well. And I'm going to show you how we do all of those. I probably should just jump straight in actually. So if I come here to TuitionKit, you see now I'm just going to jump in and sign. I'm going to join. And so what you'll see here, I'm just going to call myself Bill and Fredrickson. Just get to live a different life for a very short period of time. And so with this, you'll see that you can just put an email in, or your email in. I'm just going to jump in with mine. You don't need a code. The only time you'll need a code is if you are a teacher or you're a student who's been given a code by your teacher. That will align you together. And the reason you get aligned is really so that it can be structured, but I'll show you how that works now. So if I jump in and continue, I'm just going to be welcomed straight away, and then after that I am basically in the system. Now it's not a very complicated system. There's a few really cool features, and we've stripped it all down. It had loads of features at the beginning, but we've stripped it all down to some of the most basic items. So here in your dashboard you get an overview of how many times you've been in, how many videos you've watched, an overview of where you are with all your different subjects, and obviously all of these are free, and that's one of the things for adult learners as well. Functional skills are really useful. Any revision schedules you set up, which I'm going to show you, would be here, and anything you've uploaded would be here, and then any questions or reminders you've set for yourself will be in here, but I'm going to show you all of those. So again, a very simple introduction. So you come in and you see at the top left here you have subjects, and you'll be able to click on that and you can pick any of the things that you want to come to, and I'll be coming on these, my videos and Best of YouTube, they work slightly differently, which I'll show you shortly. So you have all the all the GCSE subjects there. And if we jump into something, I'm just going to jump into maths here. You see it's broken down by exam board, and then it's broken down by all the different items. And so if I jump into, say, let's say Head Excel, and I want to do geometry in Head Excel, and then I'm going to do triangles. And so I jump in, and all I do here is I've watched the video. So you have that available to you, and underneath it you can make notes, etc. Now, one of the things that differentiates us slightly is if there's something that you want to do or say, and this is more important for teachers, at any point in the video, I can jump into the video.
Case here,
and I can add something called a video event. You just saw me press that button over on the right, and it asks me what kind of event I want to do. And so if I'm a teacher, I can set up a question for my students or for a number of students right there within the video. But for now, obviously, if I'm a student, I might just want to put a reminder to myself, and I'm going to put a reminder saying this is going to need to be watched again. And then I can save that. And then you can see a little dot pops up now on the video. And then when I go back to my home page, one of my video events at the bottom here is created. And so any kind of hint that I needed to have for myself, it's kind of like a little bookmark in the video that I can create for myself. And then I've got a little note, oh, brilliant, I need to watch that one again. So I can jump straight back to that point, and then I'm back in the video where I was. So it helps you direct and organize and structure yourself. Now, if you're a teacher, there's something that you can do here which might be useful, because as a teacher, you get the same interface, but when you get to this point here and you want to add a video event and you want to add a textual, you might put something like task 3 for 5 minutes, write about whatever that is. And so when I put that in there, and this time I save it, one of the things, the reason that happened is because I have not actually selected a moment in the video. That was remiss of me. So I'm just going to jump to a point in the video, and now I'm going to add the video event. And I'm going to go into that there, write a task for 5 minutes, it saves it for me, and I save that there, and now you see my video event is created. Now, as you saw with the first question, what happened, I'm just going to go to it again. As you see, when we came to that one, it just pops up in the middle of the screen. But if I'm a teacher,
it's possible to get a triangle,
and I want to use something here across called class mode, if I go across to that, and I flip myself onto class mode, and watch the difference.
180 degrees.
It takes over the whole screen. Now, I'm able to put pictures and items to support with that, but that's one thing that you can use in class for teachers. If you want to actually put something in the middle of a video, you can just actually have like a teaching assistant just jump up and just take that there. And then obviously when you
always add up to 100,
it goes straight back to the video. So it allows you to kind of have a little bit of PowerPoint interaction in the middle of your video there. So that's one thing, videos and the items. And there's lots of different items where we have different pieces of work and items that are aligned to them as well in different ways in different places. The downloads for us have been extremely unpopular, so they just haven't been used. So I remember in the first 2 years of TuitionKit, I think we had something like 500,000 video views or 1 million video views or something, and then there was only like 200 worksheet downloads. It was pathetic, to be honest with you. So we don't really do that, and that's why I talk very much about video delivery. I think people take the information, they do it, and then they kind of run off with it. So what else can we do, and what else is really important about it? Now, my favourite feature is if I wanted to go into something and say, right, I need to study GCSE chemistry, I'm going to go into chemistry, I'm going to go to Edexcel, and now I know I've got paper 1 and paper 2. Now, I might want to cover all of it, but just for now, I'm just going to say I'm going to cover paper 1, and from paper 2, I'm better at paper 2, so I'm only going to do topics 7 and 8. And as you can see, I'm getting a green tick across the top there. And then over at the bottom here, I've got my learning schedule. So I'm going to jump into that, and I'm going to call this Chem Revision. And I'm going to tell myself exactly when I want it to start. So I'm going to start from tomorrow, and I want to cover everything in 30 days because there's a term coming or a half term coming, whatever. And I'm only going to study on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays because I do this, that, or the other on the other days. And then I create my schedule. And what the system cleverly does is if I go to that schedule, it will take all of the items and organize them over that period of time. Now here you see I've set myself 11 videos a day, so obviously I've covered too much for 30 days, but there you can see it's completely set up and aligned so I can actually follow all the different elements over those days. And then as I complete different bits of video, you'll see it starts to actually show my progress complete, and it lets me know where it is. And back on my home page, again, not just the interactions that are within the video, it's now actually started to record for me my revision schedules. So that's kind of there and done. Now, that's another hopefully useful feature. So I'm going to come back now again and I'm going to talk about probably the most important feature. And this is the real flexibility in the system. This is what I love. This is what's really important about online delivery. Now, I do believe that the solution to the education problem has begun. We've actually started the first part is we've got all the knowledge now. Not only do we have it in text, we have it in videos. And so I was an English teacher, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to go to YouTube where I was doing YouTube videos back in 2009 before everyone else was doing it. But if I go to someone that I liked here and I go to Thug Notes, brilliant. So if I want to go Thug Notes and Macbeth. Now say, obviously the way I teach maybe in school.
Good grammar and spelling are...
Apologies for that, colleagues. Obviously we all know how it is with YouTube videos. I'm going to skip that advert there. And I am now in Cliff Notes, which is not where I wanted to be. So I'm going to go back one and I'm going to go to Wisecrack and I'll go to the full playlist here of Thug Notes. Now, Thug Notes, obviously, you've probably never seen it before. It is a fantastic series of videos where they explain English in a very different way. So also for these here, you can see obviously there's hundreds. It's probably too many for my demonstration. You can take an entire playlist, but this 109 videos is not really a need. So let's just say I was teaching of mice and men, and so I want to go to the Thug Notes analysis. All I need to do is I need to take that URL, come back into TuitionKit, and if I go to subjects and my videos,
I'm on it.
I can just go to add a video.
I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
Apologies, Siri thinks I'm interested in what she has to say for that. Apologies for that again, colleagues. So here you see, if I go into, let's go for that again, if I go into my videos, and here I can just add a video from YouTube. So I'm going to take a single video now, and I'm just going to paste that in. And you see the Of Mice and Men video that we just saw on YouTube comes straight into my system. Now I haven't made a category, so I'm going to say English of Mice and Men. And then I can add as many of them as I want. So I'm going to go in, and then you see that video lives exactly the same way inside our system. And as a teacher or whatever.
Now Joe's going to be mad. And
I'll pause again, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another video event. And this time I could actually add a vid over this, just to give you an example here. And I save it. So in exactly the same way that I could put questions over
Bales. When Curly finds,
you'll see here again, I can put a question or an item in over anyone's video. And again, that's a really, really good way of bringing different items of life. Oh, sorry, you see there.
Be mad and Bales. When Curly finds his biddy, be mad.
Sorry, you see there. I can put it in, but obviously I haven't put questions in. I can make those questions just by using a different video event box. So you see here, you've got the flexibility to bring in anything. And that's what I think for a lot of teachers. If you're
and Bales.
If you have a situation, I know I always did, say a parents' evening, or especially with COVID, and you want to set some work, it'd be quite easy to go in and let's just say one of my good friends, Mr. Bruff. If I go Mr. Bruff YouTube, I can come in, and if I go to Mr. Bruff and I look for one of his playlists.
Hello, everybody.
And let's just say I'm going to take this one for full answers.
Don't just get a CRM. Get Monday.com.
I'm just going to pop in. I'm going to take that playlist this time. I'm going to jump back into TuitionKit. I go back to my subjects, into my videos, add a video, and just make sure whether that was a playlist link that I took. Brilliant. And see, there it is. You see now I've actually pulled in all 4 of those videos, completely ready to jump in. And I'm going to add this to my English one, or I could actually add more categories. I save that video, and then I go to look at it. And as you can see now, it is just built in. So I can actually shape learning for my student with a few trusted sources rather than doing anything else. And that obviously saves teachers an immense amount of time, because there's so much good content out there. Obviously, you will have seen some good content. Obviously, Primrose Kitten, free science lessons, Rintoul. There's thousands and thousands. And even if you even if you want to kind of help your students learn something, you could even put like maybe one of their favorite videos in amongst the playlist. So you could have, say I had here, this was the playlist I've started here, and then within this, I want to add another one. So I'm going to add a video, and if I just take, forgive me, what is my daughter listening to? Billie Eilish, YouTube. Forgive me if I've been completely ignorant there. Eilish, sorry. So I'll take that video in exactly the same way. The way I may want to do it again is add another video. I can bring in Billie Eilish, and then you see here I can add that one as well. So, you know, it's kind of like a reward or a break, and the reason that happened because I was on playlist, sorry about that. So jump in again, I've got Billie Eilish, and then I can pop that in with the English. So again, it's something that they can watch alongside all the other work that they're doing. And again, you can drop questions if you're a media studies teacher, or if that's relevant, you can just drop questions on that as well, and it'll go straight to notes to yourself, or something that you want to have with your teachers and with your friends. So that's 3 of the main features there that you see. Obviously, the teacher view is slightly different. I won't go into too much detail about that now. But basically, you get to kind of look at your students, and you start to pick and align them, etc., 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 and you can start to set some of the things that we've shown you here that students can do for themselves, you can do for them, and you can obviously pick the courses that they can do, can't do, and set lots of different things. So that's really what it's about, and I hope I kind of got that across. It's not just about, hey, we've got some resources. We do have some great resources, but it's really about taking the best of what's out there, and then just being able to direct and target and time it for your students. And especially in a time of COVID, you know, if you have to have a week closure or someone goes off on furlough, it's a great way to get information across to them so they can stay on track and keep up to date with what they're doing. And so that's some of the items that I spoke to you there. I hope it was useful. So organising for students, and it can be done by parents or teachers. You know, you just use a parent code and you align it to them. And obviously we have more detailed videos on those items. So you set the schedules, as you saw, create the interactivity points, import YouTube for them, and then you can track them obviously from the teacher side and allow access, letting people see this, that, or the other. And that's, remember, it's really about using what is there already. And that's one of the wonderful things that I think is really come about from YouTube. One of the reasons I came out of YouTube quite quickly, I was really interested in how you scale. How can you help everyone with something? And the way sometimes I talk about TuitionKit is, it's like a YouTube on steroids. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just watching the video, well, what if you can interact in the video, and what if it was organised in a nice schedule to do this, that, and the other? And that's how I really think about it. And that's one of the things that I hope conveys it to people that I'm talking about. But I hope some of what you've seen as well helps there. There are lots and lots of other features, but there is quite a comprehensive knowledge base on TuitionKit. So you just pop over here and you come into the knowledge base, and it'll tell you how you use different things, and you can earn badges and whatnot, you know, depending on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Obviously, you can have conversations with the students, but obviously that's a whole can of worms if you start talking to your students through a device. So I think it's really better to just deliver the content, organize the content for them. This is what you want, and then you can just follow and track whether they've done it or not, and bring it up with their own time. I hope that gives you a really good introduction to TuitionKit. I hope it's sorry about that. I hope it gives you a good introduction to TuitionKit. I hope that gets the premise and the idea of what it's there for. And like I say, it's free now. So, you know, for any kid anywhere in the world, it's going to be free. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You can put any language on there. So there's, just to give you an example, there was one place, I won't comment on who they were exactly, but there's one customer that we had, and they had an issue with a range of people that they had, and they weren't able to find English language teachers for them fast enough. So what we did is we actually just gathered some of the best of YouTube. So here, for example, in biology, you have Mr. Pollock's stuff was amazing. And remember, when anyone's on here, it still counts as a view for them in YouTube. You know, I started out on YouTube with that, so we don't kind of take out the adverts and this, that, and the other. I know some people don't like the adverts, but it's, you know, that's the people doing the hard work, and hopefully they're getting a penny or two from the adverts, so it makes a difference. There is a way to take it off, but we don't really engage ourselves with that. But to go back to that example, they had difficulty with giving people English lessons, and just within 20 minutes of just scouring YouTube and watching a few videos, we had all the different hundreds of different people on YouTube who are able to just kind of prepare lessons, and obviously then to turn that into a scheduled piece of work that they can actually look at and follow. It's really, really powerful in being able to do that, and I hope you agree. So thank you very much for your time. Obviously I'm going to stop the recording the part here now, obviously, because not everyone wants to watch me kind of talk in the comments, but I'm really looking forward to picking up with your comments. There are quite a lot actually, so I should have actually looked over at this earlier, so please do forgive me for that. I look forward to speaking to you all, and I thank you all for joining me. Have a lovely, lovely evening.